You know, you guys can do that.
That's your book, John.
I don't know.
You don't want to book?
I do.
Sir.
Yeah. Yes. We saw already this morning, somebody else here. Michael saw it. Just two birds.
not the most pleasant sound. A joyful noise unto the Lord. God shall make.
Beautiful. All right.
Are we going to take off the mic?
Yeah. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so delighted that you could be here with us this morning as we celebrate Shabbat together, and of course, as we celebrate Josh Devine becoming a bar mitzvah. We also want to give a special welcome to all of our friends watching from home, and we very much wish that everyone could be together in person today for this experience, but we are just so grateful that you are watching there online, and for all of Josh's family and friends who could be here this morning. We're just so glad to be able to celebrate with you. And one of the great challenges, of course, about becoming bar mitzvah during this strange pandemic time is that it really means that our students have to be incredibly prepared, because unlike becoming a bar mitzvah in a regular year, usually Rabbi Michael and I are able to sort of be here, and we call it making the rabbi sandwich, where we would be on both sides of Josh and helping shepherd him through this experience. But the good thing is that he is so prepared and is really going to lead us in a beautiful service all by his lonesome, even though we will all be here still being able to celebrate with him and sing along. So we're going to start this morning just by singing Matovu. The words can be found on page 172. Matovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Matovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani berov chastecha avor veitecha eshtachave elecha l'kodshecha be'yiratecha. Matovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Matovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. So it's our pleasure now to invite up our bar mitzvah to lead us in this morning's service. Tamod Yehoshua ben Chanalea habar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Our service begins on page 170 in the Blue Prayer Book. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness, as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage, may I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes. Please turn to page 195 and rise for the call to worship.
Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoseh. Oseh shalom uvarei et hakol ha'me'ir le'aretz ve'ladarim aleha berahamim. Uvtuvo mechadesh bekol yom tamid ma'aseh vereshit. Ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai. Kulam behuchma asita mala ha'aretz kinyaneha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al sheva ma'aseh yadecha. Ve'al me'orei or she'asita yafa aruha selah. Or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes. More welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning, my Torah. My special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. We join in singing the Shema at the top of page 200.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha be'kol levavcha uve'kol nafshecha uve'kol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. Ve'shinatan levanecha ve'dibarta ba'am ve'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvlechtecha v'aderet, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha. Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha. Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Leman tiskeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvochai, v'hiyetchem kedoshim lehehem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher chotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, l'chayot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, noratzei lo dosefele, noratzei lo dosefele.
Please turn to page 205 and rise for tefillah. Adonai sefata tifta ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gedula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'achava, Melech Hozer Umashiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lechoshia. Mechakel Hayim Behesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Verofei Holim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishanei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melah, melech memitz umechayem, umatzmiat Yeshua, v'ne'emanata lechachayod hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions, waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher, encouraging my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Nekadesh et shimha ba'olam, kashem shim makdishim, o tobish meimarim, kakatu yad neviecha, vekara ze el ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sevaot, Melo kol haaretz, Kevodo. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu ma'adir, Shimcha bekol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai. Mimkomo Echad hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Hu Yashmienu B'Rahaman le'enei kol chai Ani Adonai Eloheichem Yimloch Adonai le'olam Elochai Yitzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha Ol Netzach Nexahim Kedushacha Nakdish Veshivhacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Leolam Va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated.
This is one of those times where it is really hard to wear a mask because Rabbi Michael and I were like grinning so big the whole time.
Hurts my face
I know it does. Anyway, okay. You're doing amazing. That was wonderful. So, Josh, very speedily and perfectly, has led us already through the first part of the morning service. Beautifully done. So we're going to take a moment now and we're going to offer a little prayer for peace, and then we'll move on to our Torah service. Our prayer for peace, we're going to sing the words of Sim Shalom, asking God to bring peace to all of us. Sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom tova uveracha. Yadai dai 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 dai. Yadai dai 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 dai. Yadai dai 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 dai. Yadai dai 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 dai.
So we're going to take a brief pause in the service so I can explain what's been happening, although some of you have been to this movie before. So if you have, please be patient and wait for us to get through the flight attendant's cross-check, and then we'll be going ahead with the rest of our flight to the Holy Land where Josh will be taking us. But before we get there, just a quick word on what he articulated so beautifully and with perfection, I might add. I do want to welcome all of Josh's friends who are in the back gallery there, some of whom also have either led this service before or who have heard a little bit of this speech. But it's just to say that we are now in the midst of a kind of a beautiful musical about the history of the cosmos, and that is what the prayers of the service are. And what Josh has done is, along with his classmates and friends who have memorized much of the service before him, has been to really pick up the mantle of Jewish leadership by taking ownership of these stories and these songs and learning them with his tutor and his teachers, and then basically explaining to us how the beginning of the cosmos was, what the experience of the Jewish people was in Egypt, how the Jewish people were brought across the Red Sea and there were redeemed, basically, but left at the entrance to the desert. And so now we're going to be, after having wandered through the desert, at the foot of Mount Sinai, and here Josh, who actually is perfectly named because was Moses' sidekick, is going to be in the role of Moses, though flipping that, and is going to be at the top of Mount Sinai, receiving the law, bringing it down to us, explaining to us what exactly it means because it's written in ancient Hebrew, and then giving, most importantly, his opinion on it, because that is essentially what is going to keep us connected as a people to such an ancient text. And that was his true job in the end, was to lead us to this point in history, but also take us down from the mountaintop and explain to us exactly what he thinks is going on.
So it was not that long ago that Adam was here doing this himself and explaining Torah to us. So this morning, Adam gets a slightly easier job that he is just going to physically be able to give the Torah to his brother. So I would ask for everyone, if you'll please rise, and we'll invite Adam forward to take the Torah out of the ark, and Adam's parents and grandparents to come on up so we can pass the Torah from one generation to the next. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. And a unique problem that only happens over Zoom, but we're going to ask all of you to just do like 4 scooches down. Wait, Adam, even before you do this, just to make sure that everyone who is watching from home can see all of your beautiful faces. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'davar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagivura v'tiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod, ki hu b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki hu b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Adonai hamamlacha v'mi na'aseh l'chol rosh. Please be seated.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
V'yomer Adonai el Moshe emor al hakohanim b'nei Aharon v'emerta alehem lenefesh lo yitama ba'amav ki im yishero hakaro ve'lav le'imo olaviv ve'livno olvito olahiv ve'la'ahoto habetula hakrova elav asher lahayata la'ish la yitama lo yitama be'al be'amav lechechelo lo yikrahu korha berosham ufa'at zakanam lo yigalehu uviv saram lo yisratu saratet kedashim yihiyu elohehem V'lo yahalelu Shem Elohehem ki edishe Adonai lehem Elohehem hem makrivim v'hayu kodesh ishe zona v'halala lo yikahu v'rosha gerosha me'isha lo yikahu ki kadoshu le'lohav v'kidash to ki et lehem Elohehav hu makriv kadosh yihi elah ki kadosh ani Adonai mekadishem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam natan betoheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Oh, so it is a tradition to lift the Torah in the air so you all can see what Josh just read perfectly and amazingly. So we'll ask you just to please rise for this.
Bezot haTorah asher sam Moshe. Lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. This is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel, God's word through the hand of Moses.
You may be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Verosham lo yagalehu ufera lo yishalehu hasom yiksemu at rashehem vayayin lo yistu kol kohen bevoam al hechatzer hapenimit ve'almana ugrusha lo yikahu lahem lenashim ki im batulot mizera Beit Yisrael v'halmana asher tihia almana mikohen yikahu ve'et ami yobru ben kodesh lechol ovitame letahor yodiu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sor kol haolamim tzadik bekol hadorot Ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer va'osei hamdaber umkayim shekol devarav emet va'ad tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'limnucha lekavod ultifaretz al hakol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu modim la umvarhim ota yitbarashim ha befi kol ha tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you everyone for coming today and watching me become a bar mitzvah. During the service today, I read out of the Torah in a specific portion assigned to me. I'd like to talk about that portion and what it means to me. While learning about my portion with Rabbi Amy and Michael, I learned a lot of interesting things about it. It was not full of the most modern material. It talked about people being worthy of making sacrifices to God and who is and is not worthy of doing that. The portion elaborates by saying that only the purest of people are allowed to make these sacrifices, and people with physical or mental diseases, people without limbs, or people without money, wealth, or have low appearance are not allowed to make sacrifices to God. While thinking long and hard about how I could put a positive spin on this, I realized that there really wasn't one. The portion was full of outdated ways that would not be accepted today, so I came up with my own interpretation of the portion that I would like to share with you. While reading my portion, I realized that people back then that had those disabilities and differences were not accepted, and they still aren't now. I learned about how people with these disabilities are different and struggle to be accepted in present day, even when we try and help them. We try our best to help them and make them feel more included, and help them get around, but really we're just putting more attention on them. As most of you know, I worked with the Bennett Project for my Mitzvah project. Some friends and I reached out to one of the board members, Debbie Schultz, and asked what they needed help with. They told us that their storage unit needed organizing and cleaning up. We went to the storage unit twice and made it easier to navigate and grab supplies for the hospitals quickly and efficiently. We also came up with a social media project called the Bennett Baton Project. We've raised over $1,000 and are on track to raise even more. While working with the Bennett Project and learning about my Torah, I realized that the two had a connection. The Bennett Project works with kids, helping them and their families with their battle against pediatric cancer. People with pediatric cancer should be treated the same and given the same opportunities as people without it. This goes the same for all of the people who were discriminated back then and still are now. While learning about all this, I realized that my portion was about acceptance, how people should be accepted for who they are and not their abilities and what they can and can't do. A huge thank you goes out to Rabbi Amy and Michael for helping me work through this challenging Torah portion, helping me write my speech, and guiding me on my way to becoming a bar mitzvah. Thank you so much to Adele Lewis, my Hebrew tutor, who I could truly not be here without. You helped me through it all, and I could not imagine a better teacher to help me make it here today. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my family, who've been with me through my ups and downs, whether I'm yelling at Adam for something stupid or stopping me from spending all my money on random things. You've been with me through it all and have truly shaped me into the person I am today. Another thank you goes out to my grandparents, who've always been there to do something with me when I'm bored or get food with me after school. Thank you for always being there with me and helping me when I need it. I would also like to thank my cousins and extended family for always being there to talk with and making traveling so much more fun. Thank you to Debbie Schultz and the Bennett Project for helping me learn more about their organization and helping me while doing my Mitzvah project. And a final thank you goes out to my friends who've always been there for me to help me with homework or let me vent to them about a teacher. You've always been there for me and have molded me into the person I am today. Thank you.
Josh, you were amazing, so clear and strong, and really led us in a beautiful service. I am so excited to be the first one to say congratulations. We are so very proud of you. It has been such a joy to watch your journey to this day and what progress you have made. You started coming to Temple Israel at about age 1 for preschool. The teachers told us that you liked school so much that you would attempt to take the toys home with you. The teachers would literally check your pockets before you left every day. To see you go from that toddler, suspected of theft on a daily basis, to today is truly remarkable. There have been so many things that have changed over the years, but the traits such as kindness, empathy, and creativity are things we saw from those very early days and continue to be evident today. I have to be honest that I do not remember all that much from my own bat mitzvah, other than a great deal of hairspray, because it was the 80s. But my prayer for you this morning is that there are some things from today that you will keep with you always. Number 1, how much you accomplished and how much work and preparation went into this day. I know there will be other challenges in the future, and I hope you remember that you can do things that are really hard and daunting. I hope you remember that big tasks are accomplished through teamwork, and I am so thankful for your remarkable team that helped you prepare today, especially the wonderful Adele Lewis, who is patient, insightful, and just amazing, the fantastic rabbis Amy and Michael, and your friends who made Hebrew school fun and even worked with you and on your prayers on the phone. Number 2, I hope you remember the kind of crazy Torah portion you had. I think it is a reminder that there are things in this world that just don't make sense at first glance, or even after a lifetime of study. Life can sometimes be unfair and difficult to sort out. But as you have taught us today, that doesn't mean you stop trying or you give up hope. That means you double down and you use your creativity and your heart and your soul to come up with a way moving forward. Finally, I want you to remember that love and support can come from family and friends that are right in front of your eyes, like those who are in this room, and those that are supporting you from further away, like those who are watching via live stream across the country. As your journey continues, you know I would very much like to be literally right by your side at all times. You don't have to worry because Dad has already reminded me multiple times that that is not a good idea. But when you are out there in this beautiful and sometimes really messed up world, and we are not with you in person, I want you to always remember you have me and your dad and your brother and your grandparents and your family and your friends loving and supporting you just like we are today.
Well, Josh, I am going to resist the urge to make this talk about Tom Brady and how similar you are. But believe it or not, you and I are actually a lot alike. No, I'm not referring to your Hebrew skills, which I don't think too many in the room here could match today. And I'm not referring to our atrocious spelling skills that we share together. I mean, that's what computers are for, right? Right. But rather our personalities. We both have a lot of passion. I think we're both very creative, and we both bring a lot of heart to the table when we need to. But what I see in you really far exceeds what I've ever seen in myself. Your attention to detail and continuous drive for perfection isn't just something that we witness here today with your reading, beautiful reading of the Torah. It's something that I see in you every day of your life. I certainly worry about a lot of things in this uncertain world of ours, but I do not worry about your approach to life. Just keep that passion, creativity, and heart that you bring each and every day and share it and take it to the next level. So my wish for you is that when you agonize over those details, which I know you will, just know that we all appreciate it and are thankful to have somebody that cares so much in our lives. That caring is one of the things that makes you so special to your family and friends. You can do anything you want in this world. I can't wait to see what you do. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
All right, so first, a few gifts, which you will get to receive in a few moments. So first, Joshua Thomas Devine, today you became bar mitzvah, and everyone knew you could do it. But should anyone question you, here is your certificate to prove that it really happened. We also hope that at some point along your Jewish journey, you'll go to the land of Israel, and we have a little gift certificate to help get you there. And then we have a gift just from the congregation, from the temple to you. We hope you use it for all of your special occasions to make life a little bit sweeter. And actually, was that just 2 weeks ago when you guys were at our house and we made Havdalah sets and we were trying to decide what to do about Kiddush cups, and we said he's going to get one in just like a week. So that is what.
Don't, it was a surprise.
Oh
wait, now it's too late.
Okay, so Josh, your whole service, I kept thinking about, there's this wonderful phrase in Yiddish, and in English it translates to man plans and God laughs. And I kept thinking about that because there were so many things that we planned for in this service. Like, we were sure that at some point in the service you were going to start laughing and wouldn't be able to stop. And it didn't happen. And we were sure that during the Michamocha you were going to have to take a very, very long drink. So I had like this whole really long extended Michamocha prepared for you. And no, you just breezed through it. You didn't need a break at all. And I just thought, there's so many things that we plan for, but the truth is that when you do such a beautiful, committed job as you did today, all of those things we were worried about, there was just nothing that we actually had to worry about. But what's funny about that idea of man plans and God laughs is what I really kept thinking about, the connection with you. It's not so much about God laughing, but it is about you. Not just your laughter, but that you always have a smile on your face. And I remember when you started coming to Hebrew school and you'd been tutoring with Adele for a while, and then you came back to Hebrew school, and you and your friends, you would sit in the back row and you would just have this grin on your face the whole time. And I thought, who but Josh Devine grins that much in Hebrew school? Because no matter what, you have this joy that you bring to everything you do. And even when you got probably one of the most joyless portions in the entire Torah, right? There was nothing comforting or nice about it. You were able to find a beautiful message. And I will say that of all the students who we worked with this year, this incredibly difficult, impossible year, and most of our meetings with you were virtual, that you never complained. And you never wanted to make this bar mitzvah about the fact that it was in a pandemic. You have this ability to find joy in everything, even the least joyful situations. And I hope that is something that you continue the rest of your life, because it is really just an inspiring blessing that you have and that you share with all of us. It's okay.
You all right?
Yes.
That's more. What she said. There is a really interesting idea in our tradition. It's called Chidor Mitzvah. And it means that you make a mitzvah, you could do a mitzvah, but you make it beautiful. So you could honor your parents. Okay, but you can do it in a very beautiful way. There's reading from the Torah. You could read from the Torah. Then you could kind of do it in the most beautiful way. And I think that there's something about the most beautiful way that applies to you. The word, the mystical sphere that appears in the great Kabbalistic tree that represents that is the world of Tiferet. And to me, when I have the opportunity to see you accomplish what you did today, I was thinking to myself, wow, there sits before me one of the mystical spheres. Look at how he emanates. Maybe a little too mystical. But I would add to what Rabbi Amy said, which is this. Imagine, if you will, what it is to be 12, 13 right now. Everybody who's not. Now what I'd like you to do, Josh, is normally we might be up in the bima together, but I'd like to ask you, would you mind standing up for a second? I want you to be in this moment, because you are going very quickly and coming down from the mountaintop. You'll be like, wait a minute, I was on the mountaintop and now it's over. So I want you to be on the mountaintop with me right here. I want you to look out at everybody. And turn around, you can look up at the camera. Look up at the camera. Turn around, look at your friends. All the way around. Okay, and now everybody who's here, we have a really important expression. The expression is Mazel Tov. And I like, you'll hear a lot of stuff outside. But as you're standing here, I like everybody, if we could say together, Mazel Tov. 1, 2, 3. Mazel Tov. Josh, today you had a bar mitzvah ceremony, but over the course of this difficult year, you became a bar mitzvah. And you did it in a very beautiful way. May you be blessed with Tiferet. May all of the mitzvot that you do be seen as meaningful, but also beautiful. And may you remember this day and realize that you really kick tuchus, that you're very good at that. Anybody who's looking for a director of development for a nonprofit, here he is. We're all very proud of you. You can take a seat now, young man.
Well, and actually, can we have everyone stand up? Would that be okay? All right, so let's do this. Let's have everyone stand up because we say Mazel Tov, but we're also going to do one more blessing. Now, for this one, it's a tradition. If you want, we can sort of hold your hands like this, and we're going to direct them towards our bar mitzvah boy. We're like,
that's you.
Our magical blessings all to you.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
May God's light be made to shine upon you.
May God's countenance be lifted over you. May you be granted with wholeness and with peace.
Amen.
You did it. You were amazing. So we're going to continue now. We'll ask you to stay standing as we return our Torah to the Ark. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omer. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. And we'll continue with the Aleinu, which is on the bottom of page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'artzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama. Shelo samchakenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol amonam. Va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. So even though we are here during this time of amazing joy, we also remember those we have lost. And we're thinking especially of Diane Devine. And we know how very proud that she would be to be able to see you here today, and her spirit is with us. And thinking of her and thinking of all who we have lost, we join together in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrus v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rava min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
And the source of peace, and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Well, Josh, my friend, unbelievable as it may seem, you have done it. And so now you get to go to the eating and drinking part, which is always very important.
Traditionally, maybe the most important.
That's
what
true.
happens.
That's true. So we're going to invite your family to come on up and help us in our Kiddush and Motzi. Amen.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
All right, so my friend, we know that you have some delicious treats waiting for you outside the door. Now, we are going to keep an eye on you now that we know that sometimes you put things in your pockets just to make sure that nothing goes. But we're going to sing you and your family out the door. Simon tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simon tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simon tov, a mazel tov, a simon tov. Yeh lanu, yeh lanu, yeh lanu, u'lecho Yisrael. Yeh lanu, u'lecho Yisrael. You all are welcome to follow him. There are all sorts of yummies for you. You're eating inside, even though it's May, because weirdly.
And Moses said unto the people, God forbid you should go hungry.
Oh my gosh, is he amazing?
Are you driving? All right. Just send me an email so I can get my helmet on. Peace, brother. No, you guys keep on a low caffeine diet. That's awesome. Yeah, that was so sweet. That was so sweet.
Yeah, there is one. There's a lot. Yeah, the rabbis don't like it.
Because he hears like, you know what? He hears it say that's the problem.
No, you will do it. Like that's great. You guys put all your passion and time. You know what?
What was that?